Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of my Let's Play series on Lilac Woods. If you've been following along, you will have seen quite a lot of builds on this island so far, and I'm really excited to say that we are probably only a couple builds away from finishing this island, which is really exciting. I really wanted to wrap it up with 10 episodes because that's just even and satisfying, but I don't think we're going to be able to manage it in just one more, so you'll have to deal with an odd number. But last episode we did work on Nook's Cranny, and I really enjoyed the way that it turned out. I wasn't so sure about it at first, but you guys really gassed me up over on my socials, and I appreciate you all so much for that. It kind of gave me the energy I needed to dive into another build here. I was really inspired by one of my previous islands, Chestnut, which was a really beautiful fall island, and on that island we did a lake house, and this lake house isn't going to nearly be as extravagant as that one was, but it's been a really long time since I've done a big like view type of vibe on an island, so I kind of wanted to incorporate some more beautiful views onto Lilac Woods. I feel like I've been very focused on like smaller builds, and I haven't really tried to make any impactful terraforming, so that's kind of what I wanted to go for here. And I also just needed something to do with my resident rep's house because it was just chilling on the beach, and I'm starting to run out of room now on this island, so I wanted to make sure that I incorporate it before there's just simply no place for it to go. So I started building up this 2-tier cliff in front of this little area that I built up off stream because I wanted to fill in the water in between. So I'm kind of going in between those two areas and just trying to see kind of how the view is going to end up looking. It's a little bit tricky sometimes to get it just right, so you do kind of have to like guess and test, because if you make it too far away then you really won't be able to see it when it's all said and done, and of course the view is kind of the entire point. So it took me a little while to get to this point, but I actually really enjoyed terraforming this. Terraforming is not my favorite usually, and I tend to just use cliffs to like add a background to areas, and I don't like to do like a ton of extravagant terraforming because it's just kind of annoying. But yeah, I really enjoyed this and I found it to be very relaxing and fun. Right now I'm just trying to make some rounded off areas in the front just because I think rounding off the terraforming makes it look so much better. And I was going to make it go straight back to this rock, but I thought that looked somewhat unrealistic and kind of weird. So I'm just rounding it off at the back, and I think I'm going to put some trees over there eventually just to kind of make it look like a more natural background. Definitely took a lot of trial and error to get the water just right, just because rounding off those edges and making it look, you know, more natural and not so harsh around cliff terraforming is kind of hard for me. Terraforming in general is kind of hard for me. A couple of people on my TikTok recently asked for like terraforming tips, and I was trying to think of some of the things that I do that I think kind of make the terraforming look better. I had to try to think of a couple of tips for you guys. I would definitely say rounding off the edges of your terraforming is one of the biggest things that I focus on. Especially with the cliffs, I feel like leaving the square edges just looks super funky and unfinished, so even if it means I have to make an area bigger, I try to always round off the edges, and I do the same thing with the water as well, and I feel like it makes the biggest difference. It just makes everything look more natural. I also will try to make my upper level terraforming big enough to fit at least one tree on it. I don't know that that's like a tip necessarily, but I do think adding the trees on the different cliffs just makes everything kind of look cohesive and like come together. So for this lake area up here, I really wanted to incorporate some decoy ducks because I love them so much. They're one of my favorite items in the game, but I also thought just having them look like they're just kind of like swimming over the water here would be really cute. So I'm just chopping down some grass around them so that they can look like they're floating here, and I think it turns out super cute in the end. And then I'm just, you know, painstakingly removing all of the terraforming around them. Terraforming is just such a painful process, but here I am again checking the view. I really love the way that that looks, and then I time traveled so that my house would appear here, and I just think it looks so cute. The only thing that I don't love about this build is that the space where my house is at is so small. Like I had no room to decorate here. So I'm just adding some custom designs down to try to give it a little bit more dimension, even though we have like literally no space. And then I also wanted to put a warp pipe somewhere just so that I could like easily get to and from my house. And you'll see that I end up putting it on the outside, like kind of tucked behind where the house is at. And I do end up moving it after I posted this build, and I'm gonna put it inside of the house instead, just because this space is so small. Like it's impossible to even jump into the pipe without the pipe being like fully in your view. And I think that the green just looks really obnoxious and it kind of ruins the view. So I'm so sorry. I just did that off camera, but I'll have to show you guys when we do the final island tour so that you know how to like navigate the island. But there it is for now. Like I said, I will move it. I tried to kind of cover it up with some stacked wooden boxes, and I do feel like it does like almost completely hide the pipe, which is pretty cool, but you can't jump into it. So that was kind of an epic fail on my part, but you know, it's all trial and error. And I do at one point put a clothesline out in front of this house, and I think it looks so cute from like across the water, but I end up not having any room because of the pipe being there. So I do think I'm gonna go back kind of off camera and fix a couple of things because it just didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to. But that's just kind of how these builds go sometimes, and I do have a tendency to feel like I can't change anything after I share these videos with you guys because I just want people to see like the final build. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel like I need to leave it that way, but I'm trying to get out of that habit and just kind of edit things as I feel like I want to, I guess. So here I am just filling in this area on the sides of the cliff. These are my least favorite areas to decorate, to be honest, but I do kind of feel like in the very end, it's so necessary. Like it really just brings everything together. But I'm using these little footprints to kind of look like maybe the duck's prints. I wish I could find some like actual duck print custom designs. If anybody knows of any codes, definitely feel free to comment them below because I would really like it to be like anatomically correct, because technically they're little like cat feet or bear feet or something like that, but let's just pretend like they're duck feet for now because maybe he just got out of the water. He's got his muddy little, I almost called them paws. They're not paws. What are they? They're just feet, right? They're like little webbed feet. Oh my gosh, I don't even know, you guys. To be honest, I'm so cozy and a little bit buzzed filming this voiceover right now. I'm just drinking a pear seltzer and it's so delicious, and my room is really dark and my candle is lit and it's just a whole cozy vibe. And I don't know, I feel like I'm just rambling and saying all sorts of craziness, so bear with me. But I quickly finished editing? Hello? I quickly finished decorating this area by the cliff, and here I am just putting that clothesline there that I talked about earlier. I think it looks so cute, but then you can't move around at all, so I did take it away, but just kind of imagine how cute it would look. I did finish that area though, so we hopped over here and started working on where we're gonna be able to like sit and view my house. I really wanted this to be a picnic area because I just feel like that makes sense. Like of all the places on the island, I would absolutely want to chill here and play some like ukulele, read a book, you know, just like eat some snacks and hang out and enjoy this beautiful view of the lake. So just layering some picnic blankets here. I absolutely love layering them like this. I do kind of still feel like sometimes when I layer them that it just doesn't quite look right. I actually ran over to an area that I did previously on this island that I thought the layered blankets looked really good to try to compare, and I did them the exact same, but for whatever reason this time it just looked weird to me. So if you struggle with doing picnic areas, my heart and soul goes out to you because me too. They're so freaking hard. I don't know what that's about, but I'm just kind of filling in the rest of the area with like a lot of natural little items, just kind of trying to fill the space and like not overthink it too much. I feel like that's been my ultimate secret in decorating this island, is to just kind of like go for it and fill in areas and not overthink things. It's really helped me to stay motivated to decorate. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to place the pipe in between these two trees, and I'm going to end up moving it again, just like the one over by my house, because when you warp through the pipe, you end up behind that hardwood tree and you can't get out. So that's simply not going to work. But I try to remember to incorporate this little fox custom design on all of my islands because I just think it's so perfect. And of course, you know, YouTube handle and all of those things. I've forgotten on a couple of the islands that I've done, but we are bringing the Foxy back for this island. So we're just gonna have him taking a little nap up here. I might move him, we'll see. It just kind of felt like the perfect little spot for him to take a nap. And yeah, I'm just putting down some shoes here, and I am going to end up putting that pocketbook down and taking away that book custom design because I just like the physical pocketbook a little bit better. Then to finish off this build, I wanted to fill in this area kind of in front of that, which is one of the villagers' houses, and I have this little like land bridge that we were working on in a previous video, and I really wasn't sure what to do with this area. I really love the land bridge, and I think it looks really awesome, and I just really wanted to incorporate like kind of a newer take on the OG land bridge circa like 2021 Animal Crossing. And I love how it turned out, but I really wasn't sure what to do with this villager house. So I ended up going with like kind of a farmy theme, and I wanted this villager to have like a little wheat farm and like wheat stand where they're selling like baked goods and flowers. So that's kind of what I did here, and I really like the way that it turned out. It's kind of simple and fun, but I really ended up loving all of the brown tones and just like the natural rustic vibes. I feel like it really suits the rest of this island super, super well. But because I had nowhere to put that clothesline before, I end up just putting it over here, and I really like the way that it looks as you're crossing the land bridge. I feel like those kinds of items just add a ton of like height and dimension to builds and just kind of like vary it up a little bit. I do kind of feel like I've been using a lot of the same sort of items in all of my builds, and I'm trying really hard to break out of the rut. But for this land bridge, I end up using the safety railing item to kind of like make it look like there are like fences or handrails on either side. I saw this in one of the island tours that I did recently on this channel, the Head in the Clouds island tour. I just absolutely love that island so much, and the creator uses the safety rails there for a land bridge, and it just completely inspired me to do a little copycat kind of vibe here. But I'm just kind of dropping a couple of little items at the entrance. I don't want to decorate that section yet, but I also didn't want it to look weird when I finally do the walkthrough. But then I end up I end up laying this path in the center here, and I want it to kind of go in a couple of different directions, like off to the side where this little incline is going to be. It's going to lead to one of the other builds that we're going to do on this island. I'm very excited. Yeah, and then it's going to lead to that staircase and then off to the side. Thinking about all the builds left on this island though, I have those houses that you can kind of see off to the left. We still have to do Able Sisters. I have a couple more villager houses which you can see on the right from that kind of view. And then I think that's actually it. I think we have 3 more major builds left to go on this island, which is extremely exciting. I may end up doing one of those off camera, if that doesn't bother you guys too much, just because I am feeling very excited about finishing this island, and I just want to bring you guys a final island tour sooner rather than later, especially before all of my motivation fails me. But for the next kind of island that we do here on this channel, I kind of just want to do a bunch of entrances and in like various different styles. Like I want to do like a island entrance series and just try out like city core and try out kid core and some of these like themes that I've always been too afraid to do an entire island in that style. So if there is a style that you guys would like to see an entrance in, would like to see me try, definitely leave me a comment below because I would love to hear what kinds of things you guys would be interested in seeing. I think it could be really fun, and it sounds like a nice break because I'm sure I'm going to be a little bit burnt out after finishing a whole island, and I probably won't want to just start a new one. So I feel like that's a really nice sort of middle ground, and then maybe if we do that, we can think of what kind of style we might want to do for like a full finished island. Here we are putting the finishing touches on this build, and here is the final view, the walk from the land bridge. I think it looks so nice. And I love how simple this little farm is with all of these brown tones and the little pops of yellow from the wheat field. We are heading up to the view of the lake house. I really love the way that this turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you watched this far, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. But I will catch you all very soon in the next one. Bye!